And not only homes, this is a densely populated area, but it's also a commercial area. This is right near the Roosevelt Mall. As we've been saying, it was a Friday night. People maybe out with their families. This was around 6 o'clock in the evening. People returning home from work, returning home from after-school activities. So you can only imagine the fear, the shock, watching that explosion happen on the ground there. And now the aftermath you see on your screen, images as first responders were just arriving to assess the situation, assess the injuries, and try to figure out what happened here.
Some people are telling us it was a very, and still is, a very graphic scene. Numerous buildings and cars were on fire earlier. We haven't had any reports of those cars being put out now as far as the fire, but I'm sure they have if the other fires are out as well. The fire department is on the scene, as well as the police department, the FBI, the NTSB, the FAA. They're all there trying to figure this all out. And
in addition to that, the Red Cross is also on the scene. Disaster workers, we understand, are there to help people who were displaced. And our Carrie Corrado, she's there as well. Carrie, you're at an intersection where we can see a lot of emergency personnel there behind you. What do you know at this point?
You know, I heard you mention the Red Cross. Those volunteers were going around, so all of the people standing out here in the rain, telling them if their house was affected, that they have SEPTA buses that they can go to take shelter because of the elements, and then they will get help from there. So they're going around just checking on everybody. On the other hand, we have police officers here, firefighters here. Everywhere you look, you can see emergency responders out here trying to help. I also saw the FBI. We saw a group of them walking by, but if we zoom in, I can kind of show you a little bit what we're seeing from our vantage point. Just emergency responders and police vehicles lining the roads. Everywhere you go, like I mentioned, you can see them. I spoke to one man. He said he could see the plane falling from the sky. I spoke to another man who says he saw a big fireball. Other people told me they were in their cars when the plane came down. They just got out of their cars and ran. Other people said that they were in their house kind of far away from the crash, but the impacts shook their house. They said it almost felt like an earthquake or something, or someone was banging on their door, making all the stuff shake on their walls. So a lot of witness accounts out here. Many people were out here when this happened. Keep in mind, this is a very busy area. There are businesses, shops, people's homes. So a lot of people were here when this happened. Many of them are sharing their videos with us. A lot of them captured majority of it on their phones. So overall, police are here really just trying to figure everything out. The rain is letting up just a little bit, but very messy conditions out here as they try to process this scene.
Yeah, the rain, I'm sure, making it challenging for
no question.
Emergency personnel out there tonight. Carrie Corrado, thank you so
Carrie.
much for
Appreciate it. Let's go back to Joe Holden. He's on the phone. Joe, good evening. What more can you tell us?
Yuki, Janelle, good evening once again. I know that police have now established their command post inside the Macy's department store, which is in the Roosevelt Mall, which is where this plane nosedived, crashed just after 6 o'clock tonight. Something I've been pressing my sources on is number of transports and possible arrivals at hospitals and other details that sadly are very common when in the hours after something like this, we start to have a better grasp on. Something different about this is that we're not getting that information as quickly as I think we're somewhat accustomed to. So I wanted to share with our viewers that we are working on those details, but some things are just not clear right now. The immense area that this has affected, whether it is debris or that it has been eyewitness, this is a night that has changed that neighborhood in Northeast Philadelphia. And as we begin to, again, continue to work our sources, we are trying to make sense of this tragedy and the sequence of events that began at Northeast Philadelphia Airport, a medical plane with someone presumably in need of acute medical attention and care. It leaves the ground in Philadelphia, and then in a short few moments later, it comes down violently and creates a scene that went from night to day, according to our eyewitnesses and the video accounts and stories that people have been all too kind to share with us to help us understand better. So I'm continuing to work my sources, and I hope to have something substantive for you when we talk next.
Joe, thank you. Thank you so much. We're getting information from all over the country right now. We want to go to aviation expert and CBS correspondent Chris Van Cleve. Chris, on the national end, what have you heard about this incident that happened here in Philadelphia?
Well, we know the president has been briefed. We know that the Secretary of Transportation is tracking this. He has tweeted that there were 6 people on board. We understand that to be the 2 pilots, 2 medical professionals, a pediatric patient, and likely a relative of that patient. We know the NTSB is almost assuredly going to investigate this accident. They investigate any fatal aviation accident, so we expect they will be sending investigators to the scene. One of the things that they'll work to determine, the Lear 55 is an older airplane. It may or may not be equipped with the black boxes that we think of when we think of an aviation crash. Many Lear jets do have some data recorder. They'll look to try to determine if they can locate that. Obviously, something went horrifically wrong shortly after this plane took off.
Chris, if there is no black box, that will, I would assume, hamper this investigation a great deal. Your thoughts?
Well, certainly the more data an investigator can have, the better. But they have been able to investigate accidents in aircraft that don't have data recorders or don't have voice recorders. There will be evidence amongst the wreckage that will be able to help guide them in what may have happened. At the very least, what they'll be able to start doing is understanding what did not go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear the jet had power, so they'll be able to look at what's left of the engines and likely determine whether they were operating at the point of impact.
No.
So that yes, you can solve an investigation even if there are not data recorders, a black box, a voice recorder.
Chris, what do you make of the fact that this plane went down at the angle that it did? The video that we've been showing shows it going nosediving, essentially at a 45-degree angle. The fact that it went down so quickly.
30 seconds in the air, supposedly.
Well, I'd be speculating as to what happened after takeoff. It certainly appears to be a situation where the pilots were not in control of the airplane. So,
what?
What could cause a situation like that? Investigators will want to know if the airplane stalled. Did something happen on the flight deck to one of the pilots? Could there have been a medical emergency? There's all kinds of things that could have gone wrong. It appears clear for the plane to come out of the sky like a missile like that, that something led to a loss of control, a loss of normal flight.
So your professional opinion, this could be a very, very long investigation.
NTSB investigations typically last about a year. Generally speaking, answers come, but they don't come quickly, and everybody wants to know right now. That's one of the frustrating parts for people, I think, when they're waiting for an NTSB investigation is, they'll tell you what they see fairly quickly when they get on scene, like we're seeing playing out here in Washington, D.C. right now. They'll tell us what they know. They're not going to know a lot right away. And then it'll be 30 days or so, and then we'll get a preliminary report. That'll be a statement of facts. That'll be what they know at that point. We'll draw no conclusions. And then the final conclusions won't be drawn until that report is done. That typically is a year.
And what complicates this, Chris, is the fact that this accident occurred in a very densely populated area of the Northeast Philadelphia community there, and there is quite a wide debris field as well. So that's something else that investigators will be dealing with as they start collecting evidence and collecting the debris.
The NTSB is very good at what they do. So I think what is most remarkable when you look at where this plane came down and the way it came down, and the amount, the size of the explosion we saw related to this plane, there's a lot of fuel on board clearly, is that it came down, largely it appears in a street. Think about if that's a row of row homes, if that's an apartment building, we are talking about a much different tragedy.
Wow. Unbelievable. Chris, stand by real quick because I just want to review with our viewers that 6 people, as you mentioned, were on the plane. 6 people, 2 pilots, a child patient, and a family member. And we've just confirmed that juvenile patient finished treatment in Philadelphia and was going to be transported back to Mexico. I just wanted to pass that on.
Just heartbreaking to hear these details. And we also have some new pictures as we talk with you, Chris, from State Representative Jared Solomon, showing the aftermath of the scene here. And Chris, I don't know if you can see what we're seeing, but there are the shells, charred shells of what were cars on the ground here, cars that caught fire after the plane crashed to the ground. And we're told that there are a number of injuries from people who were on the ground at the time that the plane went down as well.
Chris, would you have any idea of how many pounds of jet fuel would be on a Learjet 55 like this? You said it was an older model. I think we had reports earlier that if it was full, it could be something like 7,000 pounds.
That sounds in the realm of possibility. I mean, the Lear can also have an external fuel tank. But yeah, you had thousands of pounds of fuel most likely on that airplane. It was gearing up for, a flight towards a long flight for that airplane.
Wow.
And as we were looking at these new images and video coming into our newsroom from some of our viewers who were there at the scene, we're seeing businesses that look as though they were pretty badly damaged as well, in addition to these cars, those homes that caught fire. Chris, tell us, the NTSB now on the ground. We also know the ATF, they're there too. What would be the first steps? At this point, we know first responders are still assessing injuries, trying to account for people in those homes. But what will be the first step for NTSB investigators tonight?
Well, the NTSB will wait until it's clear that there is no one in immediate danger, that people that have been accounted for, that there aren't injured that need to be treated. So once that active first responder emergency scene has been handled, they'll take over. What they're going to want to understand is, and they should be able to get this information, was that plane equipped with a cockpit voice recorder, a cockpit data recorder? If yes, they're going to want to try to find the section of that airplane where those devices would be. Those devices are designed to go through a crash, so they can get beaten up pretty badly and still yield information. So you'd want to find that as quickly as you can, and then they're going to want to look at whatever other, what they would call perishable evidence, might be there. Things that you need to collect quickly. And from there, then you can start a methodical forensic investigation. They will likely take the wreckage somewhere and go through it.
Could you stress the importance of what our mayor has said as far as when it comes to finding and seeing any evidence in the debris field, not to touch it, but to call authorities?
Yeah, think about it basically as any part of that airplane is part of what amounts to a CSI episode. They need to know what that piece is, and that could be a crucial piece. So, they don't touch it. Notify the police. They will send somebody to get it.
And Chris, as you're talking, we are watching again this just horrifying video of the plane going down and that fireball in the sky. This happened just after 6 o'clock tonight in Northeast Philadelphia.
Chris, we appreciate your reporting both with us now and, of course, after that mid-air collision over the Potomac River. Thank you, and we will, of course, get back to you.
Sure thing.
All right, Chris. Thank you so much. Chris Van Cleve from our CBS correspondent.
That's right.
Wow.
So we were hearing earlier that the Governor Josh Shapiro, he's on his way to the scene. We're expecting to hear from him minutes from now. But if you are just joining us, it is now 9:47 on this Friday night. It's now been about 3.5 hours since this first unfolded. We got reports of this plane that was taking off from Northeast Airport in Philadelphia, heading for Missouri, a medical flight with 6 people on board, a child who was the patient, one of the child's family members, 2 doctors, 2 pilots, when that plane went down, crashing near Cottman Avenue and Roosevelt Boulevard. The owners of the plane company telling us that they cannot at this point confirm whether there were any survivors from this crash. It does not sound good. They say they are still waiting to notify family members of those who were on board.
And again, we have just confirmed that a juvenile patient finishing treatment in Philadelphia.
Bruh, no one's going to survive
was on
that.
plane
I'm
with a
sorry
family member
if it sounds
and,
insensitive,
two
but no
doctors
one's
and
going
two
to survive
pilots.
that. Look at
And
it. The
that
fucking
child
it exploded
was
twice
going to be
before
transported back to
falling into the
Mexico.
ground to
And
homes
this happened after
in a
6
neighborhood.
o'clock. 6
This
o'clock
is fucking
evening.
awful, dude.
Moments
What the
after
hell
takeoff,
is going on?
This Learjet 55 crashes to the ground on a 45-degree
This is unacceptable.
angle. Very, very early. No answers right now. Investigators, the NTSB, FAA, will be on the scene trying to figure this all out. Why something like this happened just moments after takeoff.
And this is a tragedy on just so many levels. I mean, you know, for this child who had just, you know, we have some of the best children's hospitals here in Philadelphia. This child from Mexico, you can imagine finishing
From
their
Mexico?
treatment, their family member probably eager to get home back to their loved ones there. And for this to happen, as their families wait for news,
Happened at
maybe not
6
even realizing what
p.m.
happened. And then also for those who were on the ground here, we're not sure how many people who were in that Northeast Philadelphia community at the time, how many of them may have been injured. But as we've been hearing from our reporters who have been
Wonder if
working,
there's
their
any-
sources who have been speaking with witnesses at the scene.
Oh, look, and then we got an
it sounds
asteroid
like,
come in. It's the end of the
the
world.
outcome here was grim tonight.
There's a small chance an
Something
asteroid
wrong
could
with
hit
the
Earth
circuit.
within the
This
next
is
decade.
emergency.
Oh,
Governor
next decade.
Shapiro will be speaking soon.
Cool.
He's on
Okay.
his way. The
Well.
mayor has spoken already. I'm sure she will return as well. But this is what they will be discussing. This is what they will be discussing.
Tokyo
This
plane
horrific
crash.
accident that happened this evening on Friday night.
The video.
A busy Friday night in this Northeast Philadelphia community, right in front of the mall, the Roosevelt Mall, near the entrance. And then moments after takeoff, just after 6 o'clock, 6:07, one Ring camera reported. And here's a family that heard something, turned around,
And you see them. And to clarify, the flight was going from Philadelphia to Springfield, Missouri, but the child was being treated here in Philadelphia, and it was eventually going to be transported to Mexico, according to the sources who have been communicating with us. But it is just heartbreaking, Yuki, especially after the week that the country has had with the crash outside of Washington, D.C., and now to see this right here in our own backyards as we look at these images on the screen right now, the fire in that community. And you can only imagine the fear and the concern and how frightened the people might have been on the ground. We heard people screaming as they saw this. We're looking live now at the mayor, the governor, and the
Is she gonna
police
talk again?
commissioner about to come up to the microphones here as we
They already
are
spoke.
going to get an update from them on the situation
Wanna
at this
thank
point.
you
Let's take a
all
listen.
again for joining us.
She's so out of
I
breath.
want to give a quick recap of the information we shared earlier, and then we will give you
Recap.
some additional facts. An aircraft went down in the vicinity of Roosevelt Mall on Cottman Avenue, and it did occur shortly after 6 p.m. Again, we have no reports on the number of fatalities, so we are asking everyone for their thoughts and prayers for all who may have been impacted and affected by this tragedy.
What does CNN have to say?
Several dwellings and vehicles were also impacted, and so we are urging people, particularly those families who live in the surrounding area, to please stay home if possible. If you see any debris, and those who are conducting the investigations have repeated consistently, please do not touch anything because it is still an active investigation. Just call 911, please, if you see anything. Investigators and all of our federal, state, and local partners are working as expeditiously as possible during this very difficult time. New information that we want to share with you, that shelter is now available at the Samuel Fells High School located at 5500 Langdon Street. Samuel Fells High School, 5500 Langdon Street. If anyone has been impacted and you need shelter and support, it is readily available for you. In terms of our federal and state partners, I want to say a special thank you to the NTSB. They are here on site now. The FAA, the Pennsylvania State Police, Pennsylvania DEP, of course our police and fire departments and OEM. I am here with Governor Shapiro. We've been in constant contact since it started. You'll be hearing from him shortly. But I also want to say a special thank you to our additional partners who we have spoken with, our federal leaders, U.S. Senators Fetterman and McCormick. Thank you so very much. All hands on deck. They wanted to make sure any and everything that we needed from the federal government, those supports and services are available. Congressman Evans, Boyle, and Scanlon, our congressional delegation, a special thank you to each of you for your support. I also need to affirm that locally here, Senator Joe Picozzi, Rep. Solomon, Reps. Nielsen, Doherty, who represents this area, and Bellman, Commissioner Dealey, and Council Member Driscoll was present. If there was ever a time when we needed to affirm what the One Philly philosophy means, the time is now, and I'm very proud about how our federal, state, and all of our local partners are working hard to deal with this tragedy. I now want to turn it over to our governor and to say thank you, Governor, for your support and being here with us this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. The mayor preaches about One Philly. She talks about a unified approach to governing every day. What you're seeing here is a unified response to an awful aviation disaster. For as awful as that aviation
So on X,
disaster
someone's reporting that
was,
6 people have been
tonight
killed.
We also saw the best of Philly.
So
We saw
that's a
neighbor helping
death count.
neighbor. We saw Pennsylvanians looking out for one another.
According to Steve Keeley for Fox,
the comments the mayor said about all of the different agencies working
6
together.
killed.
I want to especially
Must be
thank
the passengers
and
on the plane.
salute Philly Fire and Philly Police, who did an
Yeah, 2
extraordinary
doctors, 2
job
pilots,
this
1
evening.
patient, and 1
We know
family
that,
member.
there will be loss in this region, and we want to offer our thoughts and our serious prayers for those who are grieving at this moment. The mayor knows, and I want you all to know, that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania stands firmly with our partners in the city. We have, at the request of Commissioner Bethel, 45 state troopers who are on the ground right here in Northeast Philly. We have 25 members of our PennDOT team who are here right now. We have members of the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Authority who are here, including our director, Randy Padfield, who joins me
At
behind
Cotman
here.
and
We also
Busselton
have members of DEP,
Avenue.
the Department of Environmental Protection, who are here to make sure that any hazardous materials are addressed.
Maps.
And as you heard the mayor reference, we're joined by several state representatives and senators. I want to thank them. They will make sure that whatever
Another
is needed
crash,
for
yeah.
this community gets to this community.
Kind of the same
I
time.
also spoke earlier.
Kind of the same time. Yesterday's crash was at 5, and this one happened around 6.
To Northeast Philly. And as the mayor alluded to, he has dispatched 4 members of the FAA to Philly, and there are 4 members of NTSB on their way as well. We have all the
It was only in the air
resources
for
that we
like
need.
30
And
30
again,
seconds or
as the
30
mayor always
minutes, something
says,
like
One
that.
Philly, we are unified in our approach to deal with this emergency. And again, I'll just end by sharing my prayers, the prayers of my wife, Lori, our First Lady, and on behalf of 13 million Pennsylvanians, we are all here for Northeast Philly tonight in this very, very difficult moment. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you all. When we have additional information to report, we will come back and give another briefing. But now we want to let our federal, state, and local partners do their jobs and go to work. We'll report back to you when we have more information. Thank you all so very much for your patience and understanding.
Mayor Parker and city officials addressing the situation
And in the
this
East
evening.
Coast.
And to recap what the mayor had to say, still
I mean, yeah, how fucking fishy. We got fires here in the West Coast, and then immediately after that, we got fucking plane crashes in the East Coast. Not to say that I feel like I've heard the past year, like two person, like propeller planes crashing, but nothing happening, no explosion, the person survives, etc. And now they're crashing into neighborhoods and airports. There's something super fishy going on. It could just be, though, incompetency. Dude, it could actually be DEI hiring. The consequences of it that have accumulated over the past couple of years. I've had the same theory, especially during COVID, because I feel like, you know, during COVID, people did get fired and or let go. They got ousted out of society if they didn't take the vaccine. So you're kind of culling, in a way, any dissension, any, like, the people that would stand up and be like, you know, what's that Norman Rockwell, what is it, town hall painting, this one. If you combine the effects of COVID and DEI, like, you know, you're basically kind of discriminating against freedom of thought, and only followers, no leaders. Is it crazy to say that, to think that?
Back up, and they just got their nails done. They don't want to mess their nails up. I'm backing up. I'm trying to find a place to park, help someone, because it's who I am. I help people, and all of a sudden, I just see bodies. I see parts of bodies. I see medical equipment. It was a medical plane now, obviously.
I thought he said hotties at first.
And it was it was a bad scene. I was running around. I gave the shirt off my back to help someone with a head laceration because I just didn't want them to bleed out. It was a kid in a red car right next to me. If that car wasn't there, I possibly wouldn't be here. My wife wouldn't be here. My mom wouldn't be here. Something would have happened to my car. I was scared to death.
That had to be really hard to witness it. How are you doing after seeing all of that?
Well, I had to go home and get a new shirt on because it's freezing out here. But it made me very jittery and glad for my daughter and son because I'm a dad. Just seeing that stuff was horrendous for me.
A lot of people would run away when they saw flames or smoke or something like that. You chose to run towards it. What kind of fueled you to go to help these people?
I've always been one to help people in a crisis. If I can give money to someone who needs it, I'll give it. If I can do something, anything to help anyone, I do it because I am that person. I was raised to believe if there's good in someone, pass it forward.
At what point did you start seeing firefighters and police? Because this was all hands on deck. Everyone just rushed to that scene.
Had to have been no less than 3 minutes because I parked, I'm running, I'm hearing sirens, I'm hearing people screaming. There was a army person literally coming and he stumbled. I caught him, picked him up, and he was running with me. He's like, I don't know what the heck happened. I am trying to figure that out.
There were other people too trying to run in and help. It was like a team effort.
Yes, ma'am.
Really, neighbors looking out for each other.
I went into Dunkin' Donuts asking if there was a paramedic because there was a kid injured. First cop I saw, I ran up to him and said, yo, there's a child injured here. He got a car, went right over, got the child in the car, and blitzed out. That was a in-out.
Well, thank you for sharing your story with us.
You're very welcome.
So, Yuki, like I mentioned, there were a lot of people here when this happened. This is a very busy area. People live around here, work around here, shop around here. So there were a lot of witnesses who saw this moments after it happened.
The good rises over the bad. It was good to hear that. Carrie, thank you so much. Helping out, he said, that's who he is.
Yeah.
And that's what we do as a people.
People stepping up to
Indeed.
help in the time of need. All right, our Siafa Lewis also at another location near the crash site there. Siafa, what are you seeing where you are right now?
Janelle and Yuki, we are at Cotman and Bustleton. Yuki, I spoke to you, I don't know, 2.5 hours ago or so. We showed you the massive presence, the police and fire response, and you can see how much it's died down, how many of the fire trucks have left, how many of the hazmat vehicles have left since then. So it feels as though it's dying down a lot right now from where it was a couple hours ago. The rain has also subsided for the most part. Listening to the gentleman that Carrie Corrado was just speaking to, he spoke to the gravity of the situation as a father having to see some of the things he saw tonight. A little while ago, we also ran into another gentleman, much younger gentleman, who also had to or was faced with the horrific situation and some of the things he saw. Let's listen to what he had to say right now.
First, I heard a loud boom, and I seen like the little spark out of my window. So I hurry up. I ran right over here to see what's going on. I just seen flames, smoke, and then I was chilling over there. And then I was with my friend and all that. We had seen like a little kid. He ran out the fire. I want to send my condolences out to anybody who lost their peoples and all that. For sure, it's just tragic, definitely hurt. And it was crazy, like, me and my mom and my niece, we was just on the road 5 minutes before it happened, coming down off 95, just on the road. And then 5 minutes later, then that's when that happened. So it was like, dang, that could have been us.
How do you feel about everything that you witnessed tonight?
Tragic. It hurt. Even though it wasn't none of my people that got hurt and all that, it still hurt. It's crazy.
That young gentleman did not want to share his name with us, but he also shared
it's 51 degrees.
The horrific things that he saw. We did not share that with all of our viewers tonight, but again, it just speaks to the gravity of this
Why
situation
would you censor
here in
that?
the Northeast tonight, and what the residents here, many of them unfortunately had to face with and had to see tonight. And that doesn't even speak to the tragedy of those involved who lost their lives tragically tonight.
Yes, Siafa Lewis, and as the mayor shared during that news conference a short time
the
ago,
other
they
guy
do not have
was a bit more
the number of fatalities
graphic.
at this police, and 3 are in fair condition.
And just a reminder,
Treated and released, and 3 are in. That 6 people were treated at one of their hospitals, 3 treated and released, and 3 are in fair condition.
And
like
just a
purple
reminder,
smoke. That's
and
crazy.
to reiterate, the mayor also, one way or another,
Is it my glasses?
and you need help. Fells High School is the place to congregate and go right now. That's over at 55th and Langdon. Fells
Must
High
be
School
some weird filter
for
effect.
those who have been impacted
purple.
by this horrific event in our city tonight.
Our Carrie Corrado, she's been at the scene for us all evening there. Carrie, tell us what you see and what you're hearing from where you are right now.
You know, I've been speaking with a lot of witnesses the moment I got here, and right now we have Michael joining us who says he saw the
I mean, I was just talking to my mom in the pull-through right next to Dunkin' Donuts, and all of a sudden we just heard this whirring and then this crash, and it was an explosion right next to Dunkin' Donuts, and everyone just started screaming. My mom told me to back up, back up, back up, and they just got their nails done. They don't want to mess their nails up. I'm backing up. I'm trying to find a place to park, help someone, because it's who I am. I help people. And all of a sudden, I just see bodies. I see parts of bodies. I see medical equipment. It was a medical plane now, obviously. And it was a bad scene. I was running around. I gave the shirt off my back to help someone. A head laceration because I just didn't want them to bleed out. It was a kid in a red car right next to me. If that car wasn't there, I possibly wouldn't be here. My wife wouldn't be here. My mom wouldn't be here. Something would have happened to my car. I was scared to death.
That had to be really hard to witness it. How are you doing after seeing all of that?
Well, I had to go home and get a new shirt on because it's freezing out here, but it made me very jittery and glad for my daughter and son because I'm a dad. Just seeing that stuff was horrendous for me.
A lot of people would run away when they saw flames or smoke or something
Caught
like
up
that.
to
You chose
that part. It happened at Cotman Avenue and Bustleton Avenue near Roosevelt Mall. Yeah, right here. And there's a Dunkin' over there. So it's like here? And a house or two got hit. Ice was not a factor due to the plane's altitude at the time of the crash. When the plane took off, the pilots did have to deal with some rain and may have experienced some whiteout conditions from low cloud coverage. Debris hits diner.
Steve, I don't know if you can hear Steve Keeley or on the other side of the street. I just saw we just showed your tweet at that diner.
Jason, that's the story I was telling you when Dawn. I got off the air with you. I went in there. The police let me through the line. The manager let me in, and he showed me on his phone this piece. And as I said in the tweet, that piece didn't just go through the window and land on a table. It went through the diner, past about 3 booths, by the salad bar, and then hit a diner on the far side of the diner, eating restaurant, and it hit him in the head. I said, was he okay? He goes, no, I think he's hurt real bad.
Oh my God.
There was a big heavy piece of metal that came flying through the diner, and that's the diner is right next to the McDonald's you're looking at. And so that, you were talking about a half a mile. That, as Greg pans to the left, right across all 12 lanes of the boulevard, and then smoke. Greg, come back where I am, and you can still see smoke going up over the AutoZone store, which is at the corner of Cotman and the boulevard. And that smoke is about 3 or 4 blocks deep. And the reason the mayor was staying away from saying numbers is because you saw them. They fluctuated. The officials here on scene, as I reported way back when, were told 6 people on that plane, and then the plane people confirmed that. But the mayor also is knowing the scene there. And she and everybody else out here is fearing that that number and the death toll could grow because of the injuries and maybe fatalities on the ground. And I was showing you and talking about SUVs and trucks that were completely on fire, completely gutted out. And that was almost initially dinner. And so many fast food restaurants you talked about, Jay. That is the fear that there could be more.
There's going to be way more.
Any other people, anybody on the ground, if their plane is in trouble, that tells you that this plane was in dire trouble when they took off from Northeast Philadelphia Airport. So that is an investigation that could take that. It would go through the checkpoints, and it also, when they're going to fly from Philadelphia to Missouri, they're going to load up those wings and those fuel tanks. And that is probably why I was telling you how the heavy smell of jet fuel was thick in the air there, around there. And that also helped the flame spread so far through that debris field as that plane crashed right along Cotman Avenue, just past the boulevard. People are saying it could have been even worse than it already is because of where it could have landed, whether it was in the mall itself with all those stores, or whether it was on the boulevard with all that traffic. So as bad as it is, all you kept hearing from officials on the scene is it's bad and it could have been even worse. Jason, Dawn?
And we were hearing earlier tonight from an aviation expert talking about exactly what you just mentioned, Steve, that plane was filled with fuel. It was taking off. It was headed to Missouri with a pediatric patient on board. So it had a significant flight to make to get this patient to Missouri when it just fell from the sky. And I was just curious, when you were inside that diner and you were talking to people, was the diner packed with customers as well when this piece of wreckage just went flying through the window?
Yeah, that diner, it's a busy diner, and it's open 24/7. It's open even on Christmas, but at dinner time, it is crowded. And then it was getting evacuated because people were being told to get out. Plus, everybody in the
The
diner
Four
wanted to know
Seasons
what
Diner
happened, so they were all
restaurant.
curious, and they were among the first onlookers who got close and then got told to get away, and then got told to move their cars away because there's debris in the McDonald's parking lot and the diner parking lot. And they didn't need to be told there was debris down there because they saw, if they were in there, a piece of the debris fly through the window and across the diner with such force. And then again, I'm going to remind everybody, the air tank from the jet, according to Philly police, laying
Diner
outside the McDonald's
somewhere
here on the corner of the boulevard. Just
over
that
here.
alone, a heavy piece of steel could have done damage for somebody waiting for a bus on the boulevard in the 6 o'clock hour as well.
So the
Governor
shrapnel made
Josh
its
Shapiro
way
should be
all the
here
way over here.
momentarily, and I will give you a warning and a heads up, and I'm
This
sure
diner,
he'll
I
have the
think?
latest
The
information.
Four
You can bet he's on the
Seasons.
phone with both the White House and
Not sure this
the new
is
heads of
the
the
right
National
one.
Transportation Safety Board, Federal Aviation Administration, and so forth.
What's it say there?
And what a busy, bad time
Yeah,
for
this
those
is it.
folks this
So I
week
think it's this
in
diner.
January 2025.
Yeah, you got to think a sleepless night for this community.
Yeah, the shrapnel made it all the way over there, went through the window, and hit someone in the head. Oh, shit. This is all repeat news.
To Councilman Anthony Phillips. His district is right around here. He had showed up just about 20 minutes ago or so and was talking to us live before we had to go to the mayor's press conference and the governor's press conference. He had all sorts of concerns. He wanted some action. He said he was hearing from constituents who saw the plane crash, who were in this area,
What's
wondering
agenda
what
free
happened.
got to say? Has he had any rest? Poor dude. This guy goes hardcore.
Are residents from 7200 Calvary able to go home? They're able to go home, but they're supposed to have an escort. They may not have gas. From Washington and Block, every couple, they live in that block. They're trying to get home.
What's the time on that?
All right, and from
6:06.
OEM right now, there is no transportation set up to take anyone to South at this time. They're going to keep us advised if something gets arranged.
What the fuck? Look, 6:06. 6:07.
So that was placed. I think, well, what's the location where the officers were at? Washington and Blythe, sir.
Where can I find? Well,
Okay, C-15 Sam Andy can send. Highway 383. What do you
incident, that plane crash. But as you can imagine, they're here hard at work trying to figure out how other plane crashed in the DC. Yep. So we're gonna talk to Azul. Okay.
Get down, get down. So
What he heard, what he saw, and just his reaction to the whole thing. So tell us what you saw.
I was at the gym. You know, today was leg day. And you just hear everybody say, "Get down, get down, get down." When everybody say "get down," we all get down. But I just see the plane is getting lower and lower and lower. It nipped the house. When it nipped the house, it hit a couple cars. Boom! And to the plaza, and to the Dunkin' Donuts, everywhere. I've never seen nothing like that a day in my life. I have never seen nothing like that. You got dead bodies over there, cars burnt up as I showed you from the gym.
What was it like in the moment?
Dead bodies.
And it looked like a movie. Like a movie, like, damn, is this really happening? Then you hearing everything blow up, boom. Then you seeing the cars that was just there, they just going up in flames. Like, I think it's an act of war.
Devastating, for sure.
Devastating.
I think it's an act of war. Wow.
Yeah, I got some videos I can show you. So basically, like,
The cars and the houses.
The houses, if you look at the houses right now, the house is still on fire because when the plane was coming down, it chipped the house. And by the explosion being so vast, it exploded, and everything that was around it, it like caught like ricochets of it. If you look, if you can go over there right now. While I'm coming out the gym, you see cars that wasn't even close to the plane. It's caught fire. They're completely done. You can't see. I showed you the pictures. It's messed up, man.
And to see all
Houses on fire. They trying to put it out there. You see kids running out. It's not right, man. And then I don't know if this was purposely done or not. But what I do know, man, you need answers.
Well, and to see all of this activity, we're working to learn more about who was hurt, how many people, but just to know that this is happening so close to home in your community, your
I live right there.
To know that this is happening in your own backyard, I mean, how are you feeling right now?
To be honest, I don't think nobody's safe. I think everybody needs to protect themselves by any means possible. Like, what can we do? What can we do? If it's happening now, what can we do? Like, we had no control over that. Can't nobody expect that. You cannot see that coming. I'm doing
So this is weird. I went on Reddit, Matt Shane's Secret Podcast subreddit, and I posted, "Are the Philly dogs doing okay?" And the post got taken down by the moderators. It was removed. You're probably getting inundated with that stuff. Wait, but a post from an hour ago was approved. I wonder why. This post has been removed by the moderators. The Man Shane Secret podcast has a open chat called Symposium. Hardly anybody said anything on there, except maybe at 7:09. Sup, dogs, just discovered this shit. You guys ever shit your pants? Maybe I'll never find out. Here, let me put this over here so you can see what I'm looking at.
Stress, and you hear the boom, and you see everything, but you just see the plane getting lower and lower. Then yesterday it was the plane. It's like, damn, what's going on? What's going on?
Tragic for sure. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us, and I'm sorry that you had to see all of that happen right in front of your eyes. And Gray, as we mentioned, we're seeing the aftermath, but there are a lot of people in this area. We mentioned that this is a very busy area. People are traveling through, going shopping, driving, and it happened this evening. People going home, and so people saw this unfold. So I can't even imagine what it was like for them. But thank you to Azul for describing what he saw and how he felt in the moment.
Everything locked down down there. I had to go out the back.
Geez, according to ads B exchange, the last recorded readings, ground speed 246 knots. Is that what that is?
I can see everything in front.
Vertical rate 11,008 feet per minute. Is that what that means? So a normal rate of decline is anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 feet per minute.
Just so you guys know, I have to move my vehicle. I'm going to be gone from the camera for probably 5 minutes.
11,000 is pretty much a free fall. Vertical rate, the speed at which the aircraft is moving up or down, changing its altitude. According to the last reading, it was descending at 11,000 feet per minute, or about 125 miles per hour.
716 Okay, I will. Let me get right here. I'll give it to you. I got you. Okay.
Video at the crash.
I got to create storage in my phone. That shit just blew up the whole plaza on Cobbin Avenue. Is they okay? Yo! Who's fire?
Oh, I still have the other video.
Oh my God, y'all, look at this shit, yo! That shit just blew up the whole plaza on Cobbin Avenue. Is they okay?
Bruh.
Yo!
Is they okay?
Who's fire? Oh my God, y'all, look at this shit, yo! Look, y'all.
Oh, into that row of houses. We were looking at it earlier on Google Maps.
What the fuck? Look at that. Yo, it just ran into people's houses. Look. Look. A plane just crashed, yo.
Oh, fuck. Yo, that's fucking morbid. It's not, bro. It's not even the bodies or anything. it's just seeing the fire from inside the window.
Houses, look.
Look at that.
Look. A plane just crashed, yo.
With a light on, so people were home. Oh no.
Look at that shit. Look at that shit. That's a whole plane right there burning, y'all. What the fuck? A whole plane just crashed into right here. What the fuck? Yo, that shit just shook the whole plaza. Yo. Yo, look at that shit, yo. I swear to God, yo, it's a whole plane right here, bro. A whole plane. That shit just blew up the whole plaza on Coppin Avenue.
Fuck. Do I still have that Google Maps window open? Cottman Avenue, Philadelphia. Take me to the Four Seasons. There we go. So somewhere around, it's like right here. This row of houses, I think. What's that right there? Wendy's? Yeah, I think it's this row of houses right here. Then the Dunkin' should be over here, or maybe about, it's going to be one of these rows, which is crazy. Imagine how many people live in one of these, in a single unit. That's Dunkin' there. Let's see.
Is they okay? Yo! Who was fire? Oh my God, y'all, look at this shit,
I can't tell what that sign is. That's lit. Oh, it says mall, Roosevelt Mall. So it's gonna be maybe that sign there. No. That's the Dunkin'. I feel like I'm close. Oh, it's gonna be a bit further this way, right? Hey. I went too far. Maybe they changed the sign since the last time this street view was taken.
Yo! Look, y'all. Yo. Yo, a plane just crashed on Cottman Ave, y'all. Yo. What the fuck? Look at that. Yo, it just ran into people's houses. Look. Look.
Oh, what's
a
the...
plane just crashed, y'all.
It's a one-way street. All of those might be one-ways, to be fair. Yeah, these might all be one-ways. The residential streets. Yeah, they're all one ways. Fuck, dude. Are they taking anybody yet? Before I started streaming, they were taking people away in gurneys. Not stretchers. Gurneys is what... What's that? Might be Bradford. But they're not showing the house in this shot. Bustleton. Oh, I guess it's that house with the ladder on it. Next to the... Yeah. It's gonna be one of these rows of houses here. The camera was in Bustleton, and I think it happened somewhere around here. That's the Cash for Gold. It's gonna be one of those buildings. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's gonna be this one, I think, or that one over there. This one or this one. It had two peaks on it, so it's gonna be that one, I think. No sound? I guess no sound in this one. God, that one's scary as fuck, yo. Yo, that one was scary. This could have been any one of us sitting in our cars. I'm gonna slow down. Where is it at the moment? This is it right here, I think. Right there. So an explosion and then... Secondary explosion. That's oh, is it? I'm retarded. It was. I thought the video was just like that.
A plane. One plane. Yeah. Yeah, a plane.
Yo, a plane came down.
Yeah, one plane crashed.
No.
My goodness, bro.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
What exploded? What exploded? I don't know. What the f is? There's two cars burning.
Fuck. That's awful. How did I get this link? Might have been through a Reddit thread. Right, I got it from the Reddit thread.
Yo, I was right there, bro. What the fuck? Yo, somebody crit. Oh my God, yo, the world, yo. What the fuck, yo?
Ay, ay, ay. One of those accounts has more videos, one with a guy walking around on fire. Bodies and body parts everywhere. Fuck off. I'm just looking for more video or pictures. Oh, it's the same video. Is it gonna be on Interesting as Fuck?
What the hell? What the hell? Oh my God! Allahu Akbar! Allahu
What?
Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! What the hell? What the hell? What?
What an interesting combination, right? You could tell he's like from there. He's got the accent down. That Philly accent. But then, what a weird combo going on here.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! What the hell? What the hell?
You hear his accent? What the hell? He's definitely got a Philly accent. Whoa! Look at his fucking mouth just come out of its skull. What?
Allahu Akbar!
Oh, we've already seen this one. Already seen this one. I'm no expert at all. I know nothing about aviation. So I come here to ask, what could cause a jet to nosedive straight down at that speed? Pilot disorientation, mechanical failure, ice, too many possibilities at this point. All the nut jobs on Twitter saw the bat signal and have started spreading their conspiracies. What a cesspool that place is. Wow. I mean, can you even blame them? The vast majority of the population knows next to nothing about aviation, and now there's 2 fatal crashes within days receiving lots of media attention. I think the last few days will end up being pretty detrimental to the industry for a while. Yeah, fuck that. I don't want to go out that way. It's on fire before it crashes. Yeah, it could be a collision. To me, it looks like there's a small explosion mid-air and then just, yeah. Just a reflection of the light on the water.
Try to get to this shovel. What the fuck is that? That shit just blew up the whole plaza on Cobbin Avenue.
Welcome and thank you for being here. Joining me today, I'm John Donnelly, Chief.
Our governor, and to say thank you, Governor, for your support and being here with us this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. The mayor preaches about one Philly. She talks about
Philadelphia Governor Shapiro on medical plane crash. That's what's stupid.
Jessica Catalia, she is live.
Head when you saw this.
Oh, I haven't heard
Some
this
of what
guy.
happened tonight, Jessica.
As a police officer, but you were here at the scene. What did you see?
Basically, I heard a loud roar, then saw a fireball in the sky. It was nosediving, and blew up right on the block. Just nosedived straight down.
And what did it hit? It just hit the concrete, and that's when things caught on fire.
Yeah, I actually saw a body fly across the street.
What went through your head when you saw this?
I need to help him.
And what'd you do?
Ran over there, looked for people that were alive. Couldn't find any. Then first responders got there and they said, "Hey, get back." I was like,
Couldn't
okay.
find anybody alive.
And tried to attend to medical aid as much as I could.
Okay. You have a family member who's a police officer, but again, I just want to stress, you just happened to be in this area. What were you doing at the time? This is a very busy area at this time of evening.
I was just hanging around with some friends, and that happened. I was like, oh, time to shoot in the action real quick.
Yeah. In light of what's been happening recently,
What a
with current
fucking
events in
dork.
Washington, D.C., when you saw this plane come down, what went through your head?
At first, I was like, oh no, it's a terrorism attack. But once I saw it on fire in the sky, it was definitely something failed in the air, hit something in the air, and
Yeah, collision.
came down.
Yeah,
There's
and
like
you
2
live in this area,
explosions.
correct?
Yes, I live right by Frankfurt County.
Yeah, we have all said we have never seen quite a response this large. We have police, we have fire. They are incredible. They arrived on the scene just moments after this occurred. Is that right?
Or something
what
exploded
happened as soon
in
as
the
they
plane.
arrived?
They shut it down. A lot of people were panicking. Actually, a female ran off the bus on fire.
Wait, what do you mean she ran off the bus?
There was a bus that was going past,
and her jacket was on fire when she ran off the bus.
So you're saying that the plane came down and struck a bus?
Yeah, a bus was going down Cotman, and I guess the explosion hit it and caught on fire.
We're also hearing that there was so much debris that was falling on the cars. What did you see as far as that?
I definitely saw debris falling. There's all over Cotman. And, I mean, I was scared to run in, but at that point, you can't get scared.
Okay, and have you just been out here on scene? We've seen so many people just pulling up in shock. A lot of people are trying to get home tonight. Have you had any trouble navigating your way home?
No, I have so much family out here. I'm just sitting here chilling with them until probably 3 a.m. Then we'll head out.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for talking. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Jay.
Thank you very much for talking with us. Yeah, so Gray and Shari, again, what's very interesting, we just spoke with a gentleman. He's trying to get back to his house here, and he's asking if his house is okay. And the photojournalist Dave Edwards and I are saying, unfortunately, we just don't know. You need to go and talk to police. But again, the entire intersection here behind me is totally blocked off because they are continuing to investigate. And we just keep hearing stories of cars that were parked in this area that were hit with debris or pieces of that plane when it went down. This is the first that I have heard of the plane coming down and hitting a bus. Again, we will confirm that information. Obviously, when we're out here, we're getting a lot of information from witnesses. Sometimes this information is not verified by police, so we want to make sure we give you that information. Again, all of this is a witness account, and you're hearing straight from them.
And it was a big ball of fire just flew into the sky, and the whole gas station started shaking, and like little debris and stuff was flying over there. So I tried to keep the doors shut, not let customers out until the debris was gone, so nobody got hurt or anything. Once I seen the big ball of fire, I came outside, I walked straight down there, started seeing a bunch of plane pieces, and it just honestly like a human foot or something. It was in a shoe still, just on the side of the street, and
A human foot in a shoe. Is that what he just said?
Fire. I came outside, I walked straight down there, started seeing a bunch of plane pieces, and it just honestly like a human foot or something. It was in a shoe still, just on the side of the street, and But it's really tragic, and I just pray that everybody is safe, and I pray for everybody's family, everybody that's involved, and it's sad. It really is.
You just hear everybody say, "Get down, get down, get down." And when everybody say get down, we all get down. But I just see the plane is getting lower and lower and lower. It nipped the house. When it nipped the house, it hit a couple cars. Boom! And to the plaza, and to the Dunkin' Donuts, everywhere. I never seen nothing like that a day in my life. I have never seen nothing like that. You got dead bodies over there, cars burnt up as I showed you from the gym. It looked like a movie. Like a movie, damn, is this really happening? Then you hearing everything blow up, boom. Then you seeing the cars that was just there, they just going up in flames. I think it's an act of war.
That's the second guy who said they thought it was a terrorist attack.
Anybody live? I gotta create storage in my phone.
Oh my.
This person here on Reddit said that a piece of the plane landed on their car. This person here. I was there when it happened. The small piece of the plane landed on my car. It was insane. Autist? WSB Autist? That's terrifying. I heard on the news someone drove by and got a piece in their car. Glad you are safe. It was experience. It's hard to wrap my head around. Everything was normal, and then this massive explosion happened. Ash and fire were flying from the sky. Debris was all over. The cops were there almost immediately.
Coverage now with Carrie Corrado. Carrie?
Yugi, good evening. This was all hands on deck. The moment that
This might
plane
be
went
a
down, every
rerun.
firefighter, every police officer ran to help. And they have been here.
I need to go to the bathroom, and then I'll probably start playing Demonologist. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's a sad day. Sad last 2 days. I mean, it's been a sad year.